Thank you for staying with us. We had a bit of a delay there, but we're back on track and we have our first interview. Joining us to discuss the Junior Calypso Monarch and all the issues that are coming out of this and to figure out a way forward is Calypso Nite, and he is our National Freestyle Champion 2023. Calypso Nite, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dominic. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Not bad at all.
All right. Okay, so we've seen the news, we've seen the reports of what's taking place with the with the Junior Calypso Monarch, sorry. Tell us, I mean, you are someone who has been in the industry for some time, who has been a Calypsonian, who's been writing, performing, taking part in competitions. Is this something like this normal? Does something like this usually happen? Is this strange?
I wouldn't say it's strange. I mean, for the past 20 years, over the last 20 years that I've been an active entertainer, I've seen, instances where this conversation came up.
Okay.
Right? I think this is actually the first time I can recall an actual disqualification coming out of it.
Right.
Right? But the whole concept and construct of not performing the musical piece before, let's say after Ash Wednesday, the previous year.
Right.
Right? Or that has always been a known function.
So this is known. Right? This is not a new rule that has now been included.
No, that has always been there.
Okay.
So let's say this is 2023. The work should not be performed before Ash Wednesday 2022.
Okay.
So this so it's not a new rule. It has always been there, it has always been enforced. And as competing entertainers, we all have been aware of it.
Right.
This situation, though, for me is very unfortunate for a number of reasons. Now, I don't have all the details in terms of when exactly the work was performed and how it was performed, because I think there's a bit of a gray area there with what actually constitutes a performance.
Okay.
Right, of the work. So it could be, there are times when, let's say, somebody would write a song and they might perform it live somewhere. That may not be, a commercial production and performance of the song.
Right, okay.
You might perform it live, you might give a two-verse, right? So there is a little gray area there. And I mean, with this situation here, given how the juniors are normally prepared, there's another bit of, I would say, gray area of concern, right? Then this would be the question of, okay, did we actually have a carnival last year and year before?
Okay.
Right? Or would this now be part of, how would that rule be interpreted?
Right.
Now,
given
as I said,
the special period of COVID and all of that, the pandemic that we went through.
Yes.
Right.
Right. So we have that consideration, but I wouldn't discredit the ruling that was handed down.
Right.
Right. It's just unfortunate that, the young people have to go through that after having gone through the excitement of winning. Right. As I said, they didn't broadcast when exactly the infraction took place or how the infraction took place. Right. It could be that the young man probably performed it at an audition, and that was before the period that they would have said.
Right.
Could be that he recorded the song and published it but didn't compete with it.
Okay.
I don't know. Right.
Understood.
But these are the little gray areas, and I don't think that the organization would make a willy-nilly decision, right, based on this, right? Based on the facts and the evidence, I'm pretty sure that they would have
done
come to that conclusion.
Right. Yeah, let's take it back a little bit, because we're seeing not just the disqualification of one person, but we're seeing of two, the winner and then the person who would have placed third. Now, I mean, we're talking about the persons who were disqualified, but we also have to take into account the persons who would have placed, would not have won, and then now because of the disqualification is now the winner, is now the second place, winner. It's a lot of changes, a lot of emotions
Mm-hmm.
into play. I mean, you can talk from the place of an adult, how that would have
Mm-hmm.
emotionally affected you on either end of the coin. But these
Mm-hmm.
children having to go through this, how do they navigate this, especially so early in their careers?
Well, I think it is important not just for the children, but also for the parents as well, because the children are not acting on their own
Yes.
thing. The Tuco, though, they clearly they put out a handbook every single year,
Okay.
right, with all of the rules, everything clearly stated. And most of the competing, whether they are adults or at the junior level, most of the competitors get this handout with this booklet
Right.
with all of the rules clearly stated. So it is important for the parents to be responsible where that is concerned, right? Maybe they took a chance, maybe they didn't interpret the rules well, for whatever reason. The psychological effect would be the same for an adult as well, because the amount of preparation that would have to go into getting ready for a carnival season, worse yet, the competition side of things,
Yes.
right? We're talking writers, studio time, um, costumes, props, and then actually the excitement of the act going through the different stages of the competition from preliminaries to semis into finals, right? Um, the parents of the children who would have been disenfranchised would feel a sense of, you know, gutted, I would say, right? To have lost to somebody that would have, broken or bent the rules, whether intentionally or not,
Oh, yes.
right? And also they too would now have been robbed of the opportunity to, be celebrated as winner, as a finalist, because I mean, now if two people got put out of the competition, that means there are two people that should have been or could have gotten into the competition,
Yes, correct.
right? So now that I think it is a learning exercise for all parties, right? Just find that it could have happened a little earlier,
Right.
right?
Yeah, because we're
This
talking about the span of a month gone.
Yes, right. Prizes probably already given out, trophies awarded.
Yes.
And I know the winner, he would have performed at the March Gras competition and got to parade on the
Right.
grand stage on Carnival Sunday night, right? And of course, that too is an opportunity that another participant would not have enjoyed,
Yes.
right? But I mean, all of the facts didn't come out, or at least in the press releases that came out. But I think now what it would only strengthen the resolve and strengthen the entire fraternity going forward from the junior to senior level, because they now
Right.
know that we all now are now aware that we are under the microscope where these things are concerned, and we
Yes.
now have to do our due diligence to ensure that we don't cross those lines.
Yes, and even in moving forward, as you said, do you think, in your opinion, more checks and balances can be done on the side of the organization, in terms of, okay, the songs are vetted properly, so not just vetted in terms of lyrics, but vetted in terms of where has this been performed, a greater look into the background of the competitors. Do you think something like that may assist moving forward?
I've seen that become very difficult
Okay,
because there are a lot of ways that the lines could become blurred,
right.
right? We have seen instances where people rehash old melodies, right? We have a situation where the judges are not aware of the work that would be presented to them, and they judge what is in front of them on any given night,
Right.
right? So now I think it is a collaborative effort in terms of the parents and participants, because this is not just a juniors issue. The parents and participants doing their part to ensure that they come to the competition in the interest of fairness and equity,
Right.
right? We also have to look at, I mean, it would be difficult for the organization to do more than they did, right? Because who else or how else would they know where the song would have been performed?
Performed,
Okay, if the
right.
song was performed in a competition 2 years ago, clearly you can't use it again it might be easy to track and say, but this song, was performed before. Now, what constitutes a performance? That is where the
That's what
whole
we need to
issue
clear up,
is. And
right?
I think we need a little more clarity there, right? Because oftentimes somebody might, let's say, as I said before, they might perform a song somewhere, right? And is it that the person went on audition with the song and he didn't get through at the audition stage, so this means probably didn't even make it into the preliminaries of the competition, right? Or it was a song because we had a number of other issues as well and other disqualifications around the Caribbean with people using work that was performed somewhere else as well,
Right.
not by the performers on the day. That's the next thing. So these are the things that we have to look at, right? Just in case, because it could be a case where the song was performed by another performer at some other point in time, and this is an issue between the writer and the performer.
Performers, correct.
Yes.
Before we wrap, we appreciate that you joined us this morning to discuss this and to give us the sides of this. What advice would you give to both parties, persons who have been disqualified, because these are talented young people, regardless of this situation,
Yes.
And we don't want this to be the spoke in their wheel. So what advice would you give to them who would have been disqualified, and then to the ones now who have moved up because of the disqualification?
I think it was McDonald who won, right? He is an awesome performer and an awesome talent for the Calypso fraternity, and it is unfortunate that he and his family has to go through this right now, right? And for all the other people that would have, come up as a result of the disqualification, they all perform together and have been performing together for years, right? Already in the little time there.
Yes.
And I would like to continue seeing them do well. The basis of the disqualification, where the infractions came, whether they performed the song before or it was an issue where a writer gave them an old song that was performed before, we all now have to just do our due diligence, and as emotionally, disheartening as it might be, we have to take it on the chin, right, and just come back better next year. Because for all of the juniors, we have seen progressive development in the way that they perform the craft. They are very good at this age in terms of the delivery, the music, and they are the ones that are going to be carrying the culture forward.
Yes.
And it is good that the organization would have taken the stance and, dealt with it this way. This would only firm up the resolve and I should say, maintain and retain the integrity and the value of the competition and the Calypso space on a whole.
Right.
So, they just have to take this one, learn from it, all parties, right? And let us continue putting out a good product for the culture.
Yes. Thank you so much, Calypso Nite, for joining us. We appreciate you. Have a great
Nice.
day. We take a short break. When we come back, we have lots more in store. Stay with us.